Who do you think is responsible for your son's death?
Chief Keef.
Chief Keef, the 17-year-old drill rapper, just showed why you never let your ops know your location. This kid from Chicago's O Block signed a $6 million deal, then watched as his rival got clapped in the streets. Lil Jojo, barely 18, was rolling through Keef's hood, talking mad-ish. Well, police records show that hours later, Jojo was gunned down after tweeting his location. But there's more, including Keef laughing about the murder on Twitter and what looked like the beginning of the deadliest gang wars in Chicago. It's 2012 and Chicago's South Side is already hot with gang activity. But then, out of nowhere, this video drops on World Star Hip Hop. It's some little kid, probably like 6 years old, going crazy about some dude named Chief Keef getting out of juvie. The vid blows up, and suddenly everyone's wondering, who the hell is Chief Keef? Turns out, Keith Kozar, aka Chief Keef, was just a 16-year-old kid from the hood, repping the Black Disciples. This man had been cooking up tracks while on house arrest at his grandma's crib. His video for I Don't Like starts spreading like wildfire, racking up millions of views on YouTube. The streets were feeling it, and soon enough, even Kanye West was jumping on a remix. Now, Chief Keef wasn't just some random kid with a mic. He was the real deal, straight out of O Block, one of the most dangerous hoods in Chicago. O Block, named after a fallen member named O.D. Perry, is infamous for its violence. It's the kind of place where kids grow up fast, where survival is a daily struggle. Keef's lyrics weren't just tough talk. This man was standing on business. He was giving voice to a lifestyle that most people only see on the news. Record labels started sniffing around, sensing the next big thing. They saw dollar signs in Keef's authentic street cred and raw talent. Before you know it, Interscope Records drops a bag on him. We're talking a $6 million deal plus plans for a movie about his life. For a kid from the projects, this was like winning the lottery. But here's the thing about success in the streets. It comes with a target on your back. And in Chicago's drill scene, that target was about to get a whole lot bigger. But you know how it goes in the rap game, success always brings haters. Just 3 blocks away from Chief Keef's turf, another young rapper was watching Keef's rise and thinking, that could be me. Joseph Coleman, better known as Lil Jojo, decided he was gonna make a name for himself by starting beef with the hottest new rapper in Chicago.
He wanted to diss them on the largest scale possible.
Jojo wasn't playing around. He drops a track called 3 Hunake, a direct shot at Chief Keef's crew. See, 300 was Keef's thing, repping the Black Disciples. But Jojo adds that K at the end, meaning killer. He's basically saying, we ill Black Disciples. In the video, Jojo and his boys are waving guns around, talking about BDK, Black Disciple Killers. The video is low budget, probably shot on a phone, but it's got a raw energy that matches the aggression in Jojo's lyrics. You can see AK-47s and other heavy artillery being waved around like props in a movie. But this ain't Hollywood. These are real streets, real guns, and the beef is very, very real. This wasn't just some rap beef. Jojo was affiliated with the Gangster Disciples, sworn enemies of Keef's Black Disciples. By dissing Keef, Jojo wasn't just trying to get clout. He was poking a hornet's nest. He was bringing an age-old gang rivalry into the spotlight of social media and the music industry. Things start escalating quick. Jojo's brother Cash Out posts a video of himself prank calling Chief Keef's mom. In the video, you can hear Keef's mom's voice crackling over the speakerphone while Cash Out leers at the camera. It's disrespectful as hell, and you know that ain't gonna fly in the streets. In Chicago's gang culture, disrespecting someone's family is a serious offense. It's the kind of move that demands retaliation. But Jojo doesn't stop there. He keeps pushing, keeps prodding, trying to get a reaction out of Keef and his crew. He's playing a dangerous game, but in his mind, any publicity is good publicity. He's trying to use Keef's fame as a launch pad for his own career. On September 4th, 2012, Jojo takes it to another level. He posts a video of himself and his crew rolling into Chief Keef's hood. They're in a car, cruising through enemy territory, looking for trouble. They spot Lil Reese, one of Keef's closest homies, walking down the street. Jojo and his crew start shouting insults, trying to provoke a reaction. Someone in Reese's crew yells back, "I'm a ill you," and this ain't no empty threat. In Chicago's drill scene, words like these often lead to real violence. The video blows up online. It's got all the elements of viral content, drama, danger, real-life beef playing out on camera. But for Jojo, it's more than just content. It's a bold, maybe foolish attempt to prove he's not afraid of Keef and his crew. Later that same day, Jojo tweets his location, saying he's on 69th Street. It's like he's daring his enemies to come find him. In the world of social media and instant communication, giving out your location when you've got beef is like painting a target on your back. And Jojo's enemies are watching. Around 7:30 that night, Jojo's riding on the back pegs of his homie's bike. Suddenly, a tan Ford Taurus pulls up. The window rolls down and shots start ringing out. JoJo goes down, hit multiple times. His friends scatter, bullets flying past them. When the shooting stops, JoJo's lying on the sidewalk, bleeding out. Paramedics rush him to the University of Chicago Medical Center, but it's too late. Joseph Lil Jojo Coleman is pronounced dead. He was just 18 years old. Now here's where things get even crazier. Not long after the news of JoJo's death hits the internet, Chief Keef tweets something that shocks everyone. He writes, "It's sad, cuz that the JoJo wanted to be just like us. Hashtag LMAO. Yeah, you heard that right. Dudes laughing about a dead teenager. The internet explodes. People who didn't care about Keef rapping about gangs and guns suddenly want his head. There's even talk about Interscope dropping him. In the music industry, you can rap about violence all day, but openly mocking a dead rival? That's crossing a line. Keef tries to backpedal, claiming his Twitter got hacked. He tweets again saying he didn't know JoJo, but that he was young just like him. But the damage is done. The streets are hot, and everyone's waiting to see what happens next. JoJo's funeral is wild. It goes down at a funeral home on the south side, and it's like nothing you've ever seen. So many people show up that they almost knock over the casket. JoJo's mom, Robin Russell, has to shout back up to keep the crowd under control. Outside the funeral home, someone blasts JoJo's 300K, and people start dancing and rapping along. It's like a music video and a funeral rolled into one. You've got young kids in the parking lot, throwing up gang signs, rapping along to lyrics about killing their rivals. It's a surreal scene that shows just how blurred the lines between music and street life have become. The funeral procession to Mount Hope Cemetery is something else. We're talking about 100 cars deep, people hanging out windows, flashing gang signs, some even waving guns. It's so crazy that the people living near the cemetery start protesting these gang funerals, saying they're afraid of getting hit by stray bullets. Kathleen Walsh, a resident near the cemetery, talks about how it used to be tradition to bow your head and say a prayer when a funeral procession passed by. But now, people are ducking for cover, afraid of getting caught in the crossfire of a gang-related shooting. In the wake of JoJo's death, the Chicago police launch an investigation. They're looking into whether JoJo had any gang affiliations, and if his unaliving was connected to the ongoing conflict between the Black disciples and the gangster disciples. But here's the thing about investigations in neighborhoods like Inglewood. Nobody wants to talk to the cops. There's a strong no snitching culture, partly out of fear of retaliation, partly out of distrust of law enforcement. So even though everyone seems to know what happened, proving it in court is a whole other story. The police also start looking into the social media beef between JoJo and Chief Keef. They're trying to figure out if Keef or any of his associates were involved in JoJo's unaliving. But again, they're running into walls. The world of drill music is closely intertwined with gang life, and neither group is known for cooperating with law enforcement. This beef between Chief Keef and Lil Jojo wasn't just about two rappers trying to make it big. It was a microcosm of the gang violence tearing Chicago apart. In 2012, the city saw a 38% spike in homicides, mostly due to gang activity. You've got these youngins, barely out of high school, caught up in decades-old gang rivalries. They're using social media and music to fan the flames, turning street beefs into viral sensations. And record labels are throwing millions at them, essentially profiting off this cycle of violence. It's easy to point fingers at Chief Keef or Lil Jojo, but the truth is, they're products of their environment. Growing up in some of the most dangerous neighborhoods in America, surrounded by poverty and violence, what options did they see for themselves? Rap was their ticket out, and they were willing to do whatever it took to make it. The beef between Chief Keef and Lil Jojo might have started in 2012, but its effects are still felt in Chicago today. It sparked a series of retaliatory shootings and diss tracks that kept the cycle of violence going. Other rappers got caught up in it, taking sides and escalating tensions. Chief Keef went on to become one of the most influential rappers of his generation, pioneering the drill music sound that would spread from Chicago to the rest of the world. His style influenced everyone from Kanye West to UK drill artists. But he's also been criticized for glorifying violence and contributing to Chicago's gang problem. As for Lil Jojo, he became a symbol of the senseless violence plaguing Chicago's youth. His death at just 18 years old highlighted the real-life consequences of rap beefs and gang rivalries. In the years since his death, his name has been invoked in countless songs and social media posts, keeping the cycle of revenge alive. The fallout from this beef had a real impact on Chicago's streets. The city was already dealing with a surge in gang violence, and the high-profile nature of this conflict only made things worse. It brought national attention to Chicago's gang problem, with media outlets from around the country descending on the South Side to report on the Chirac phenomenon. Local authorities struggled to contain the violence. They tried various strategies, from increased police presence to youth intervention programs, but the deep-rooted issues of poverty, lack of opportunities, and ingrained gang culture made progress difficult. The city also had to grapple with the impact of drill music on its youth. Some called for bans on drill concerts, arguing that they incited violence. Others defended the genre as a form of artistic expression and a necessary outlet for young people growing up in tough circumstances. Now, let's take a quick look at how people online have been reacting to this wild story. The comments section is blowing up, and folks have a lot to say about Chief Keef and Lil Jojo. One user hit the nail on the head saying, "Crazy how all this blood on the streets was caused by kids disrespecting each other. For real, it's mind-blowing how a rap beef between teenagers escalated into real-life violence that shook up an entire city." Another commenter pointed out Jojo's fatal mistake. He dropped his location for all the ops to see and then stayed there for hours riding a bike. Dude had a death wish. It's a harsh truth, but in the age of social media, giving out your location when you've got beef is like painting a target on your back. But not everyone's critical. Jojo's still got his supporters. One fan wrote, "Long live Jojo, a true crusader in Chicago history. Jojo and Sosa changed Chicago. History was made. Love him or hate him, there's no denying the impact Jojo had, even in his short life." These comments show just how divided people are about this situation. Some see it as a senseless tragedy, others as a turning point in Chicago's hip-hop scene. But one thing's for sure, this story got people talking. So there you have it, fam. The wild, tragic story of how a 17-year-old rapper ignited one of Chicago's deadliest gang wars. It's a cautionary tale about the power of words, the allure of fame, and the devastating impact of gang violence. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this whole situation? Was Chief Keef responsible for what happened to Lil Jojo? Or was Jojo playing with fire by dissing Keef and his crew? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And yo, if you found this video informative, do your boy a solid and smash that like button. And if you want more stories like this, breaking down the real-life drama behind the music, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.